In this video, I'm going to give you 5 different techniques and tricks to keep your feet warm when you're climbing, hiking, backpacking, and adventuring in the outdoors in cold locations. The first is to use a vapor barrier liner. What is a vapor barrier liner? A vapor barrier liner is literally an expensive plastic bag that you put over your feet. You tighten them up, maybe use a bread bag or a Ziploc bag, and you put your feet in your boot. And it can actually make an incredible difference in how warm your feet stay. Now, why is that? Because the vapor barrier liner, the plastic, does not breathe at all, so it doesn't let any moisture transport out of your boot, which means that that moisture can't carry heat energy away from your feet, and thus it keeps your feet warmer. It definitely has some downsides because your feet do get moist, but by just putting your feet in a vapor barrier liner, you can make a big difference in how warm your feet are when you're adventuring in the outdoors. But if you want a more professional choice, this number 2 tip is to get Sealskins socks. These things are incredible. I believe they're made in the UK. I'll put a link below to them, and they are waterproof. They're a 3-ply woven sort of craziness that you put your feet in and immediately they start feeling warmer because those socks, the Sealskins, are completely waterproof. I've used them over the years on a few adventures just because I need to change things up or I needed some waterproof barriers for my feet, and the Sealskins socks are definitely a good way to go. The third tip in this video is always keep your feet covered. Never, ever, ever let your feet get uncovered without something around them. What do I mean by that? When you get to camp and it's minus 20 degrees and you've got your sock on, the temptation, is just to take the sock off, quickly get the other sock going, and put your other sock on. In that short a time, huge amounts of heat energy have left your feet. So how do you solve this? Very simple. All you do is when you're preparing to change your socks, you literally, let me put my sock back on and I'll show you the technique. It's a little bit awkward, but when the air is so cold, it literally feels like you've got your hand dunked in ice water, like minus 45 degrees. You actually put your foot inside of your sleeping bag, and then you get your other sock in there, and ideally, you've pre-warmed your socks. Is you take your sock off under the sleeping bags, kind of like a little striptease here, and then while your foot is in your sleeping bag, you put the other sock in there, and voila, you've kept your foot covered the entire time. Why would you say you want to do that? Why can't you just be quick? Because believe me, when you're tired, cold, and sweaty, and it's minus 40 degrees, you don't want anything that will make your feet cold. So keeping your feet in something at all times, whether it's in your booties or in your sleeping bag just to change, can make a world of difference when you're adventuring in ultra cold locations. That brings me to my next tip. This is one that's really critical and it's easy to make a mistake on, is not letting your boots freeze. Whether you have leather boots or climbing boots, whatever that might be, when you're done adventuring for your day and you get in your tent and you get all set up, don't set your boots outside because the sweat inside your boots will freeze and it will freeze solid. So in the morning, if it's minus 40 degrees and your boot, the sweat in there is frozen, guess what temperature your boot is? Minus 40 degrees. That's right. So you do not want to just leave your boots outside and let them do their thing, because you will be putting your boots on, right boot, at minus 40 degrees, and you'll literally have wrapped your foot in minus 40 degree ice. So definitely do not let your boots freeze. One of the ways to do that too is to make sure to take a hot water bottle, stuff it in that bad boy, and get your boots as warm as possible before you put your boots on. It'll make all the difference. In extremely cold locations, I actually put my boots literally inside my jacket half an hour before I'm ready to go. Is it totally awkward? You better believe it. but when I put my boots on, they are perfectly comfortable and warm. The final tip in this video is to pre-warm your feet however you can when or before you get inside of your tent, because once you get inside your tent, it's really hard to rub your feet and get them warm, whether that means getting out of your tent and kicking your toes a bunch with your boots on, bang, bang, bang. That can actually make a big difference in how warm your feet are. That's a tip I learned from the Greenlandic Serious Dog Patrol, is kick, kick, kick. It hurts your feet, but it can warm them up. Doesn't matter whether you do jumping jacks or whatever it might be, or use a hot water bowl. Get this bad boy boiling. People say, oh, don't boil it. They've never been in minus 45 degrees. Trust me. You get that boiling water in there, you put it in a sleeve, you put it against your sock, and oh. And in fact, if your feet are really cold, get that boiling water, get it in your sleeping bag, make sure the bag doesn't leak, put it in there, and just literally wrap your feet around that water bottle. And that will make a huge difference in how comfortable you are and if your feet stay warm or they freeze. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer, and I've had a lot of cold feet, and I'm trying to help you with this video series on 15 different videos on how to prevent your feet from getting cold. Please like and comment on the video, and if you found it useful, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and keep your feet warm.